Well-known author, investment banker, consumer advocate, analyst, trader. Chris Markowski is the watchdog on Wall Street.
You want answers?
Exposing the lies and myths that the big brokerage firms, the mainstream press, and the government are pushing to keep Americans away from financial freedom.
You can't handle the truth.
Bringing America the truth about what really happens in the financial world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to indulge in fantasy, but in political and economic reality.
This is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
Welcome, everybody. I've been doing this now over 20 years, and I was kind of reflecting a little bit this past week, and when I had various different epiphanies throughout my career with Markowski Investments and also doing this radio show. And way back when, I used to get underneath my skin. It used to bother me when I'd get nasty messages. I'm dating myself. Faxes, yes, emails, various different things from listeners out there. And then obviously we've gotten into the era of social media where you can attack people anonymously from here, there, and everywhere. And I used to try to engage some of these people and kind of debate them to some degree. And then I learned my lesson is you cannot debate, you cannot argue with people that are not going to operate in a Socratic manner. They're not going to use logic or reason. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. As I learned, never argue with idiots. They've got way too much experience at being an idiot. The discourse is never going to rise above idiocy. So what's the point? What's the point? For all of our new listeners out there, and God bless all of you new affiliates out there. We continue to add new stations all the time. Some of the things we talk about here on the program, we don't sugarcoat anything. And sometimes, like I say, a jagged pill to swallow. I was reminded of it this past week. I was doing some reading, and it was an old line by Plato. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. And I think most of you out there, we kind of temper what we say sometimes in an effort to just get along. And I get that. That there are certain times and places where, where you can be more honest, and other times where you should hold your tongue. Again, it's a bit of a balancing act. But with some things, and with this program, we don't hold back here on the show. We don't. And I encourage your questions, your comments, your emails. If you disagree with me, that's okay. That's fine. But again, let's keep it on a Socratic type of plane, if you will. You're engaging people in an intelligent manner. There's a lot of difficult things that are happening in this world. And there's a lot out there, a lot of misinformation that's being thrown at you all the time. It's what we try to do here on the show is we try to defy all of that. The poison of conventional wisdom, the narratives that are being built and pitched to you. A lot of it, quite frankly, is propaganda. There's this line I've used before on the program. That was it was Donald Luskin, economist Donald Luskin came up with this back in the 1990s. He called it the conspiracy to keep people poor and stupid. And again, we are doing our darndest here on the program to defy that. Now I want to talk a little bit about the markets, your portfolio. Again, it's easy right now. When you see a market sell-off, I don't even want to call it a sell-off. Okay, well, what is a 200-point plus move in the market at the levels that we're at right now? It's no big deal if you actually think about it. But again, you'll see column after column, article after article. U.S. stock market faces risk of bumpy autumn. More strategists say a storm is brewing in the U.S. stock market. Wall Street sounds alarm on stock market pullback. Again, I know I address this often here on the program. I talk about it on the podcast. You go out, let's see, I'll do this in fishing terms. I used to love going fishing with my father down in Florida. We used to go way offshore because you have to in the Gulf of Mexico, grouper, snapper, amberjack, you name it. And you could go out there, and the Gulf of Mexico could be like a lake, glass, going out there. And you could take a look at the maps, weather maps, whatever it may be, and say, well, it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful day. However, sometimes, guess what? Storms happen. They can come up out of nowhere. That is the reality, and that is something that you need to deal with, and you need to be prepared for that. This all or nothing. You know, you see this oftentimes. You get these various different Wizard of Smart hedge fund money manager guys out there, you know, talking about, what are you investing in? Are you fully? No. Honestly, people, stop listening to them. Stop. You need to put all of this aside. If you think that you can time the markets, you're a fool, because you can't. It's just not possible. Now, we've talked about properly managing one's portfolio, the things that you need to do here on the program, which are not spoken. It's all or nothing when it comes to most of the big brokerage firms out there, the buy, sell, hold mentality that's been ingrained in your head. You know, I explain this here on the program, and sometimes people are like, what? You bought a stock and you sold it on the same, well, for one client you bought it, but for another one you sold it on the same day. How does that make any sense, Markowski? Makes plenty of sense. Makes plenty of sense because, again, might have a client that has owned a certain company in their portfolio for a certain period of time, and that position has grown, and we have to take some profits off the table. Not selling the entire position. We still believe in the position, but there's nothing wrong with trimming. There's nothing wrong with rebalancing one's portfolio. That's what you need to do. I know, you get the wizards out there that keep telling you, growth from now until eternity. I mentioned this several weeks ago here on the program, okay? This going back to the 1990s. When everybody was telling you earnings don't matter anymore. Right. Until they don't. Right? Or earnings don't matter anymore until they actually do matter. They talked about this run up in real estate. Oh, yeah, God's not making more real estate. Real estate can never go down. Really? There was a great piece this past week by Andy Kessler. Again, it's almost like an echo chamber piece. This basically writing, it's in the Wall Street Journal, what we are trying to explain here on the show when it comes to valuations, intrinsic value, the importance of paying attention to the fundamentals. You see, when markets sell off or things go into a tizzy, and again, we've been through it all here. Okay? Been through dot-com collapses, been through the Great Recession, been through a pandemic, handled all of this stuff. And you know what? We didn't flinch. And our clients didn't flinch. Why? Because we focus on the fundamentals. Remember that line? It was right. The movie Wall Street. Hal Holbrook, Lou Mannheim. Focus on the fundamentals, kid. That's how Hilton was. Again, you focus on the fundamentals and the valuation and what something is worth. And guess what? You can face any type of market storm. And they're going to come. They're going to come. And if you're not willing to deal with the fact that they're going to come, you shouldn't be invested in the first place. These are the situations you take advantage of. And Kessler's piece, he mentioned some funny things here. Are you familiar with a company? It's called Joby Aviation. Joby Aviation is planning on building an electric air taxi. Cool, huh? electric air taxi in 2024. Do you know that Joby Aviation is worth more than Lufthansa, EasyJet, or JetBlue? Now, does that make any sense to you? Nah, me neither. Me neither. Yeah, earlier on this year, Tesla was worth more than the next 9 car manufacturers combined. Now it's the next 6. It was 9, now it's the next 6. Meat made with pea protein is worth more than the entire market for peas eaten globally. Does that make any sense? How about that car company that you see advertised online all the time, or on television all over the place, Carvana? It's a used car sales platform. Carvana, used car dealership, is worth more than Volvo, Honda, Ford, or Hyundai. Airbnb is worth more than Marriott and Hilton combined. The crypto exchange Coinbase is worth more than the NASDAQ. Listen, people, when companies out there hit levels where, again, there's no sort of reality whatsoever, guess what? It's not real. It's not real. I don't care what this Wizard of Smart is telling you on TV, whatever it may be. I've been doing this long enough that I know what's going to happen. And if you've done well in some of these companies, as we have as well, you take a look at the valuation, you take profits off the table. You don't go full out FOMO, fear of missing out. Those are the people that get destroyed. I'm going to take a quick break here, and we're going to delve even further into this proper portfolio management, the things you need to do. I want to invite each and every one of you there. If you're not a part of the Watchdog on Wall Street family, the Markowski Investments family, sign up. It's free. Get to our website, our personal CFO program, account repair kits, newsletter, podcast, everything at our website is absolutely free. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com, or you can give us a call, 800-471-5984. That's 800-471-5984. We'll be back.
Bringing America financial freedom one listener at a time. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the one, the only, the Watchdog on Wall Street show. Always honored to have you tuned into the program. I'll get questions sometime, when I start talking about valuations, and people are like, why don't you short all those stocks then? Why don't you short them if you think that they're too overvalued? Okay. I'll tell you why. Even though, again, I'm right, companies will eventually trade at their intrinsic value. There's a gravity to it all. It's not the same type of scientific gravity. Like if you throw a ball up in the air, you'll know, you can determine when that ball, if do the math on it, depending on how high it goes, when it's going to hit the ground, right? Gravity, it works. Market gravity's different. It is. It's different. You can't make any sort of heads or tails out of it. You can go look at our site, go and take a look at the columns that I've written over the years. Every financial calamity, 3 decades, we called them all. We called out in particular companies. We knew that Enron was going to fall apart while, it was still the most innovative company in the world, according to Fortune magazine. However, I don't know when. And the thing about shorting stocks, guess what? You can be right that the company's a piece of garbage and it's overvalued, and you can be wrong at the same time. Meaning that, guess what? It doesn't work. It doesn't work like throwing a ball up in the air. It can stay. Companies can stay afloat for a very long period of time if the powers that be will allow it. It's just that simple. You can artificially prop up these things through a myriad of different reasons. You can prop them up, get the right type of PR people out there, talk about the future and how wonderful it's going to be, convince enough people on some sort of message board that this company is just plain awesome. So no, that's why we don't get involved with that with our clients. That's too speculative. You take a look around, people. You take a look at, let's say, venture capital, for example. Take a look at venture capital. After investing $120 billion in the 2000 .com run-up, okay? Guess what? They only invested, venture capital did $16 billion in 2002. This is from Kessler's piece. U.S. venture capital invested $130 billion in 2020, and then $140 billion in the first half of 2021. Startups these days raise money as the Uber of gardening, or space as a service. Who said space as a service? Oh, yeah, that was WeWork. That was that company that we told you was going to implode because it was just garbage. Garbage. The CEO of that company, again, this is how dumb. I'm sorry. There's no other way to put it. This is how dumb people can be. The CEO of the company declared in 2017, our valuation and size today are much more based on our energy and spirituality than it is on multiple of revenue. What do you got? Magic crystals there? But again, people drove the stock through the roof. Who made money? The insiders, the venture capitalists. Do not be one of the greater fools out there. You remember this past year? It was past summer. We talked about it briefly on the program. It's talking about printing money and stupidity and so-called asset classes going through the roof. There was an artist this past year that auctioned off an invisible statue for $18,000. The artist claimed the empty box, the space was full of energy. And somebody bought it. You know, I've been talking about the disconnect we have with reality and asset classes at this point in time. These zero interest rate policy, ZERP. There's no there's no direction. There's no direction to it. It makes it very, very difficult to decide, to kind of figure out what's going to happen next. Kessler kind of points it out the way that there's no true north. There's no compass to help you compare stock valuations with reality. So what we're doing here is we are out there at sea with a compass that's just spinning around. Just spinning and spinning and spinning. Fed Chairman William McChesney Martin once explained that the Fed's job was to take away the punch bowl just as the party gets going. From the looks of it, the entire market would blow about a 0.35 on a breathalyzer test. Fundamentals don't matter, right? That's what they're telling you. They don't matter. They don't matter until they do. Earnings don't matter until they do. Here's some numbers for you. In 1989, Tokyo real estate sold for as much as $139,000 a square foot. That is 350 times the value in Manhattan. At that price, the Tokyo's Imperial Palace was worth more than all of the real estate in California. Guess what? Not anymore. Not anymore. Yahoo was worth $125 billion. AOL, $200 billion. Both are worth 99% less today. Even Elon Musk, recently tweeted, I thought 1999 was peak insanity, but 2021 is 1,000% more insane. Again, Kressler reminds us, and I'm reminding you, the same thing that we've been telling you here again and again and again and again. When the selling starts, fear of missing out turns into fear of losing everything. And all of the speculators jump like rats off a sinking ship. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Again, get your plan done the right way. Sign up for our personal CFO program. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. We'll be back.
Chris Markowski is the Watchdog on Wall Street. Taking Wall Street's liars, crooks, and cheats out behind the woodshed. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street.
We're going to spend a decent amount of time today talking about the zero interest rate policy and how it's affecting everything. We're going to talk a lot about inflation. Again, I kind of alluding to various different things and boats and oceans and seas and navigating financial storms. And how do you navigate a financial storm when your compass is spinning? We focus on what's real. We focus on what's real. We focus on the fundamentals of a company. That's what we look at. That's what we look at. And again, sometimes, Ken, the fundamental, you might have a great company and, all the dollars are chasing the latest and greatest and all these hype things, but that's okay. Company's paying you dividends. You can wait. Anyway, and again, there's nothing wrong with investing in growth companies as long as they make some sort of sense out there. There's nothing wrong with taking a tiny portion of your portfolio and speculating to some degree. But you need to take profits along the way. Because when the proverbial compass starts making sense again, guess what? All the garbage is going to go by the wayside. And this is not my first rodeo, kids. I'm sorry. It's not my first rodeo. I've been there, done that. I had the arrows shot at me, was made fun of back in the 1990s, talking about the dot-coms and the insanity of the day and how this whole thing was going to fall apart. Nobody wanted to listen. It was too easy. It's too easy. Quick money. Piece of cake. The funny thing is, there's passages in the Bible that warn you about quick and easy money and how it goes away. Everything in life that has meaning, value, and worth involves work, time, and effort. It's just that simple. Anyway, I want to touch on this. I had to do a double take on this. You got first off, you got the head of the SEC. You got Gary Gensler going around there talking about, we need to do more about regulating SPACs. We need to do more. We need to do more out there. This cryptocurrency is going to have to regulate that to some degree. Good luck with that. Okay. First and foremost, again, I've kind of come to the realization that there's nothing you're going to do. Okay? Nothing. The lure of easy money, quick money, it's too powerful. It's human nature. What do we said again and again and again here on the program? Greed and fear sets the trap for investment cons. It's why people lose money. I saw this story, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Where the hell is the SEC and FINRA on this? If they could actually do something about this. Robinhood is now going to college campuses around the country looking to lure in young investors. Robinhood. Again, I've been highly critical of this app and how it operates and hits the various different dopamine sensors. They're going on college. How many people remember when you first went to college and they're at the student union? You first get there and they had all the credit card companies lined up looking to get you hooked on a credit card. Oh, yeah, you can get your Go Orange T-shirt if you sign up for an American Express card. Again, they just wanted to get you hooked, paying ridiculous interest rates. And most kids really, they don't understand money. It's not explained to them. It's not taught to you in schools. And hopefully your parents will explain it to you. But yeah, you get kids in this debt spiral at a very young age. And the credit card companies, I think we want to keep a small credit limit. And guess what? Mommy and daddy will take care of it when they get out of control. But Robinhood is now on various different college campuses around the country looking to give students, if they sign up for their brokerage accounts with a school email address, $15 to trade and enter them into a $20,000 giveaway. What? Is this some sort of FM radio rock station contest here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we want to help to get more people involved in investing. No, what these kids should be doing is studying at this point in time. They shouldn't be taking the money that their parents are giving them or they work for over the summer and trading stocks with it. You've got to be kidding me. But again, the trading volume in Robinhood is way down. It's way down. So they got to find some more suckers. They have to find some more suckers out there. Again, all you online discount houses out there over the years. Okay, why don't you open up your books? Why don't you show us the percentage of your clients that actually make money? Oh, because you could. You could, but you're not going to because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. The only person that I knew that got a hold of that information was a professor in California, Terrence Odine. Took a look at it. Disaster. Now you want to get kids involved? You want their phones blowing up in the middle of the class? Trade. Shame on you people. I don't know. Certain people, they have some sort of ethical bypass at birth, and they just don't care. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
This is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
Yeah, I have to kind of, I'm about ready to start yelling. I'm going to go old school Watchdog on Wall Street. The more and more I think about what Robinhood wants to do and these other online trading firms want to do. They talk about, taking candy, stealing candy from a baby. This is basically taking money and stealing money from college kids. And they know it. And Robinhood's partners at Citadel and the other one, they know it too. Let's get a bunch of novices out there. And pick their pockets. Shame on you people. Shame on you. Anyway, here's a story. Again, we can file this under maybe pigs flying and hell freezing over. Your watchdog on Wall Street happens to agree with Elizabeth Warren this past week on one thing. That's, preface that as one thing. Elizabeth Warren actually came out and suggested to Jerome Powell and the U.S. Federal Reserve to break up Wells Fargo. Yep, Senator Elizabeth Warren this past Tuesday urged the Federal Reserve to break up Wells Fargo, arguing a string of scandals at the financial titan puts consumers at risk. Again, it's not going to happen. It's great for Elizabeth Warren because she got her name in the paper and she probably has some YouTube videos of her suggesting it that she can send out to her constituents. Look at what I'm doing. I'm fighting the good fight. listen, Elizabeth, I agree with you, but you're late to the game. You're late to the game. We've been suggesting, actually imploring the government to do this. This is going back to the whole .com blow up, where it was as plain as day that the powers that be knew exactly what they were doing. Got a hold of the emails. Saw them. This company's a piece of this. This company's garbage. But they all had strong buy recommendations on that, right? How to pump the stock up for the investment banking department. They should have been broken up right then and there. But no. We allowed all of these investment banks to become commercial banks. And Leon's getting larger. And then we moved on, and they paid some fines in regards to the .com collapse, and then they decided to get all in with mortgage-backed securities and packaging garbage loans all together, selling them as AAA. What could possibly go wrong? Didn't matter. They're all too big to fail, right? They're all too big to fail. Elizabeth, guess what? It's not just Wells Fargo that should be broken up. It's all of the big banks. Have you taken a look at the record? Huh? Have you taken a good, hard look at the record? Got to take a quick break. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street.
Black dress with the tights underneath. I got the breath of a last cigarette on my teeth, and she's an
The only man who is taking on the Wall Street establishment. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
Always pressed to your cheeks while my tongue is on the inside.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Watchdog on Wall Street show. Yes, the place to take the liars, the crooks, the cheats out behind the woodshed and give them a bit of a beatdown. Again, I want to remind everybody, take advantage personal CFO program. It's everything. We're basically providing a family office for all. Not just for people that have 10, 50, $100 million. That means accountants, lawyers, estate planning, everything. And it's all right there. You go to our website, watchdogonwallstreet.com, sign up for our personal CFO program. And we also have all of the myriad of different things that we've been handing out, utilizing to help people for decades now. Our retirement crisis white paper, account repair kit. That was the first thing that we started doing when we first put Markowski Investments together. As we, again, was all the sort of boiler room operators and whatnot in business and .com scams, basically how to rebuild your portfolio after you've gotten hit pretty good. Annuity help kits, basically deciding to purchase an annuity. Again, an annuity it's a tool, but it's a chainsaw tool. It only should be used for certain things. What's best for you? All of this stuff right there at our website at watchdogonwallstreet.com or by giving us a call at 800-471-5984. I want to get back to break them up, okay? Again, in a capitalist society, there should be no such thing as too big to fail. And that's what we have. You can go and you can take a look, and we've covered story after story, scam after scam after scam. And it's all there. You could read a Wall Street fraud there and our website columns that I've written over the years. I got tired of writing them. I got tired of covering this stuff because it's just so prevalent. It's not just little Jordan Belfort operators. The biggest scams of them all are run by the big firms. So she talks about breaking up Wells Fargo. Why just Wells? You know, these firms out there, okay, if you're going to provide, let's understand what a professional service is. A professional service, if you are an accountant, if you're an attorney, if you're a doctor, if you're managing someone's money, certain professions out there where you have to put your client's interests above your own. You have to. You have to put your client's interests above your own. It's called being a fiduciary. Now, if you are the CEO, if you are Jamie Dimon over at J.P. Morgan, and they can put out all the fancy commercials, and they can pay every bloody fine every single time they rip somebody off or run some sort of scam, doesn't matter to them. Jamie Dimon's job is not to his clients, it's to his shareholders. The CEO of a company as a fiduciary shareholder will do the right thing by them. That's how it works. You cannot serve two masters. You can't. And this is why for years, decades, we've been suggesting, you know what? All of these banks need to spin off their money management business. They need to get rid of that part of their business because they're conflicted. So, yes, Elizabeth Warren is right. Yeah. Do we need to break up Wells Fargo? Yes, we do. But we also need to break up Bank of America. We need to break up J.P. Morgan, Morgan Stanley, right on down the list. Let a commercial bank be a commercial bank. Let an investment bank be an investment bank. Let the money managers there, the advisors, work independent. So they don't have somebody over their shoulder telling them what to sell, what to do, because the powers that be upstairs need to make the stock price go higher. The only thing that we're concerned about is making our clients' portfolios go up. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it should work. But it doesn't. And again, I've been talking about this for years. I for the life of me, I don't understand why you would allow a firm that is trading publicly to manage your money. Now, listen, I get it. If you're one of the 100 million plus types out there and you're getting all sorts of special loans based upon your stock and you're getting involved in all the deals, you're not going to be one of the greater fools. Okay, I get that. Again, I couldn't do it myself, knowing that the system is manipulated. But, again, you are in a different position. I mean, I know I told the story before here on the program. This is going back to when Morgan Stanley, in the 1990s, Morgan Stanley is behind when it comes to .coms and offerings. They want to get involved because it's making so much money. So Morgan Stanley, white shoe firm, as white a white shoe firm as could be. All of the North Shore yacht clubs and golf clubs, they're all their people are members there. So, again, they want to get involved in this business, and they've got some well-to-do clients. They have to find suckers to buy their junk after all of their big clients get out. So what did Morgan Stanley do back in the 1990s? You remember this? They bought Dean Witter. Remember Dean Witter? You remember Dean Witter? Dean Witter was a brokerage firm that would actually have offices inside of Sears. So they bought Dean Witter and all of those small clients. And everybody screamed, why would Morgan Stanley buy Dean Witter? We knew why. They needed greater fools. They needed all of the masses out there to buy the stock after it went up, after getting all of their bigger clients out. That's why. Do you remember the act that actually changed their stock ticker? It was MSDW, right? What happened to DW? Oh, that's right. That's right. All of those clients ended up broke, busted, and disgusted. Don't be a greater fool. Get to our website, watchdogonwallstreet.com. Get our personal CFO program, all sorts of great things there. Take advantage. Everything absolutely free. Watchdogonwallstreet.com or give us a call, 800-471-5984. That's 800-471-5984.
Chris Markowski is the watchdog on Wall Street. Well-known author, investment banker, consumer advocate, analyst, trader. Chris Markowski is the watchdog on Wall Street.
You want answers?
exposing the lies and myths that the big brokerage firms, the mainstream press, and the government are pushing to keep Americans away from financial freedom.
You can't handle the truth.
Bringing America the truth about what really happens in the financial world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to indulge in fantasy, but in political and economic reality.
This is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back. It is the Watchdog on Wall Street show. I try very, very hard here to try to make sense out of oftentimes confusing topics. Again, if you watch a lot of the business news, financial news, they gloss over things. They throw numbers up at the screen. And again, it's a part of the ruse. They want you to think that they're just that much brighter than everybody, and you should just listen to what they have to say. Case in point, this past week, they had CPI numbers come through, and they're like, oh, it's not as bad as we thought it was. Oh, inflation is starting to taper a little bit. And again, it made me want to throw up in my mouth. You're being lied to. You're being lied to. Whenever I start talking about the powers that be lying to you, the media lying to you, it instantly sub-references the Schwarzenegger movie Running Man, when he eventually has to get to the movie, or the satellite, to let all the people know that Gillian is lying to you. The powers that be are lying to you. They're lying to you. And I was trying to think of a way to kind of explain inflation and the numbers that you're given based upon time and all this stuff. And I said, you know what? We're going to talk a little bit about football. Okay? I just rolled into football season. I got my son is playing. He's running back and linebacker on the football team. I usually go to maybe one or two games a year. My best friend, and he's actually in charge of accounting. It's our accounting department for our clients and also for us. He's got Jet season tickets. I'm a Giants fan. Giants are terrible. But I don't mind. I'll go watch the Jets. I'm going to go to opening Jets game this weekend. It's kind of a tradition that we've been doing for a long, long time. So we're in football season, okay? So what we're going to talk about is inflation in football and the numbers that they're giving you. So let's say you have a running back from, let's say Walter Payton. We'll go back to the 1980s. And Walter Payton was awesome. And you took a look at his numbers. And how many yards did Walter Payton run? And you say, wow, look at that. And again, they love making comparisons to different eras. And you take a look at, say, running backs to today. And how many yards did they run? What if the yard that Walter Payton ran, okay, 3 feet, right? 3 feet's a yard. What if we came to today and a yard was only 1.5 feet? Well, again, how could you make those comparisons, right? It's a different metric. You're measuring things differently. If we were to take a look and measure inflation based on historical standards, we'd be running at over 10%. You know this. I know this. We pay bills. We pay bills. I actually drove by a gas station. This was an expensive gas station, a gas station near where I lived, and I saw $4.60. Anybody take a look at their electric bills? Anybody take a look if you have a propane tank, how much propane costs? Natural gas, food. Prices are going through the roof. And yet you're told, hey, it's transitory. It could be a little bit sticky. No, it's bad. And what's not fair about the situation and the great lie that's out there that these leftists keep pushing on you. These leftists and these leftist economists in the New York Times, all this crap about these zero interest rate policies and how awesome, star-spangled awesome it is. It's not. It's not. These artificial rates, it's not fair. At least back during the 1970s into the early years of the Reagan administration, inflation running hot, at least you could stick your money in a bank account and get a decent return that would keep up with inflation. Now you can't. Now you can't. Your cash is trash. Your cash is trash. Ray Dalio said that this past week. We've been saying it for a long time. Your cash is trash. You're losing money. Bonds, 10-year Treasury, 1.3%. Are you kidding me? A nation that is almost $30 trillion in debt, and our borrowing costs of 1.3%. Take a look around the globe. It's not just here. It's everywhere. Who does this actually benefit? Does it really benefit you? No, it doesn't. It benefits big companies, powerful companies that get these ultra low rates. Do you think that you could go out your small business and borrow money at ZERP, close to ZERP? No way. You're still paying 6, 7, 8%. You know it, and I know it. But what does J.P. Morgan get? What would Tesla get? What would Apple get? What do the big banks get? They get those rates. How do you compete? You can't. You can't compete with that. It's just not possible. And again, how do they sell this to you? What's the pitch? Ooh, look at how low mortgage rates are. Oh, it's great for you to buy a home. Again, this is part of the great conspiracy to keep you poor and stupid. Mortgage rates go down, the price of the home goes up. Mortgage rates go up, price of the home comes down. My first home, I paid my interest rate was 7%. What do you think would happen to the housing market here, the price of homes here in the United States, if the mortgage rate went to 7%? Huh? What do you think would happen? Yeah, the price of homes have to come down. This is the inverse relationship between the two that most people can't get their arms around. We're starting to see issues with this all around the globe. I know you're not seeing this in your local news program, but there's actually in certain countries around the globe, they're having riots right now. I'm not kidding. Food riots. Here was a story off Bloomberg. Priciest food since 1970s is a big challenge for governments. Big challenge? Well, you get the same people that the arsonist that started the fire, you're going to look to them to fix it? You're going to look to them to put the fire out? They're the problem. They're the ones that caused all of this. And then you get King Canute there. You get Biden coming out. Hey, so we're gonna put some tough sanctions and some actions on these food companies and these meat producers out there to make the prices go back down. You're gonna do what? Again, these are fools that obviously do not understand how the world works. Meat prices are going up for a myriad of different reasons. Why don't you take a look at energy costs? Why don't you take a look at grain prices, all these input costs that are involved? You don't think it affects this? People, look out this winter, okay? Supplies are low. Supplies are low. Your energy prices are going to go up, and they're going to go up significantly. Yeah, and it's so bad in Europe right now. Not making this up. It is so bad in Europe right now that they're actually shutting down plants because they can't afford to open them. Yeah. Yeah, oh my God. Guess what? The wind is not blowing like it usually does in the North Atlantic right now, and all those stupid windmills that they put up aren't working. So electricity prices have skyrocketed. You're actually, what was it, in Spain? Oh, we're going to get rid of the taxes that you pay on electricity right now, and then we're going to tax the energy companies. It's not their fault. You're the idiots that did this. You're the ones that are going to shut down all of our nuclear power plants. Got to get rid of them all. And you're going to go with solar and wind. You do know that, it can be a bit unpredictable. Weather is something that's difficult to predict. And, the funny thing is, if you want to do some of that, you want to do some windmills, some solar, okay, fine. But you might want to diversify. You might want to diversify where you're getting your energy from. You want to know who's smiling right now? Who's thrilled by this? Putin. That's it. A good old Vladimir with his Nord Stream 2 pipeline. He has got Europe right now by the proverbial cojones. He does. They're going to have to go to him. He's actually, it's funny, he's actually cutting back on his deliveries right now. Going to make the prices go up. And he's saying, we need it here for domestic consumption. Again, we are the quote, end quote, Saudi Arabia of natural gas. But no. We're going to stop developing that, right? We're going to stop making pipelines, right? This is what we're going to do. We're going to rely on windmills and solar. People, elections have consequences. They do. And trust me, okay? I want the cleanest possible energy you can have. But, again, we have to obviously think and use our heads when we do this. And we're not doing that. We're not. And I wish I had better news here when it comes to inflation and the costs and the things that you're going to buy. It's going to start filtering. This is everything. Apparel, furniture, toys for Christmas. Yeah, it's going to affect everything. And yet you get the Wizards are smart and the Biden administration coming out saying, it's not so bad. Inflation's not so bad as long as you don't include beef, pork, poultry, and stuff that you need to eat and utilize every single day. Are you people on drugs? It's bad. It is. And the people that I feel for here are the people that can least afford it. Let's be honest. Okay? People in this country where a larger portion of what their monthly intake is going towards food as a percentage, going towards food, going towards energy, they are going to be hit hard. They are. I know people are getting raises. Their businesses are paying more money. But all that money is spoken for now. It's going towards the electric bill. It's going towards the gas in the car. It's going towards food. So what difference does it actually make? You're still on the hamster wheel. There are consequences, and we're dealing with these consequences of zero interest rates and central banks all around, all the major central banks all around the globe printing and printing and printing. If you're not talking about this, if you're not talking about this with the people that are handling your finance, managing your money, that's a problem. That's a problem. I don't like talking about this. I'm not thrilled saying this. You think I like being the bearer of bad news? I don't. But again, we're going to be honest with you. We're going to have to deal with what's out there. We have to deal with the terrain. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com is our site. Again, we invite you to become a part of the Watchdog on Wall Street family. Again, sign up for our personal CFO program. All sorts of great stuff there at our site. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com or give us a call, 800-471-5984.
Went well for a week or two, then it all came unglued.
You should believe in math, not magic. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
We have got access to all the various different analyst notes and well, it's not so much analyst notes. It's really kind of the insider type of not insider information. It's the wrong word I'm looking for. It's the information that's given to the favored clients at the too big to fail firms, a lot of the big hedge funds and whatnot, and they're already putting out notes to their hedge funds and how to go about trading energy markets moving forward and the various different strategies that they're utilizing, various different option strategies, commodity strategies that they're utilizing to do this. And guess what? Guess what? It's going to make the prices go up even further. Not doing anything illegal, but the prices are going to continue to rise. Anyway, I want to touch on this, kind of going off the beaten track, but I think this is a pretty interesting, teachable moment. Again, this made the news this past week. Obviously, you saw a everyone's favorite House member, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She is an absolute genius. A genius at what, you might ask? She is a genius at getting her picture in the paper. She is a genius at getting noticed. Everything else, not so much, but she happens to be a genius at that. She happens to be pretty darn good at that. So she goes to and again, I want people to kind of get their arms around this, the Met Gala. The Met Gala, they actually did a documentary on this. Anne Wintour and Vogue magazine. When is this? It's usually in February, if I'm not mistaken. I moved it because of COVID, whatever it may be. And even if you have the money, you can't get in. You have to be on the list. You have to be one of the in people at that point in time. You couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me the $40,000 it costs for a ticket or the $500,000 it costs for a table to go and hang out with these types of people. If this is the type of crowd you want to put together, I don't want to be around it. But anyway, AOC, who, again, grew up in Westchester. Her dad did quite well. She went to Boston University, but she's a big champion of the people right now. She goes to this event. And where did AOC get the $40,000 to go? I guess she was given the ticket. So she shows up, and I'm sure you may have seen with the tax the rich dress, and that she made all the news. Again, you want to talk about genius? Okay. She managed to outshine J-Lo and Rihanna and all the other stars, because that's all anybody was talking about was AOC and her dress. But I want everybody to kind of get their arms around this and kind of understand, unfortunately, how our country works as far as elites are concerned. I've talked about this for years. I call it my watchdog on Wall Street, axis of evil. Big business, politicians, and the media working hand in hand to further their own needs. And yes, you can become a part of this club. Good way. Go to an Ivy League school. It helps. It helps. Having an ethical bypass of birth, that helps too. You ever wonder why? Think about this for a second. Ever wonder why? What does a House member make? 170 grand, 180 grand. How is it that you're making 170, 180 grand a year after, 15, 20 years of service? You become a millionaire 10, 20, 50, 100 times over? How is that possible? Because let me tell you something. I think we're pretty darn good at what we do at Markowski Investments. But I'm telling you right now, I can't show you that level of return. You ever really think about how this all works? Again, these are things you might want to keep in mind the next time you enter a voting booth or you cast a ballot somewhere. Gotta look to see who really has your best interests at heart. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Again, become part of the Watchdog on Wall Street family. All sorts of great stuff. Personal CFO program, newsletter, you name it. Watchdog on wallstreet.com or give us a call, 800-471-5984.
You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street. Bringing America financial freedom one listener at a time. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
You know, another interesting thing about that Met Gala. You're going to talk about we the people, the peasants. That's what we are. We're just serfs living on the axis of evil's manor. You do realize that, right? They everybody that went to the Met Gala, and you had to be vaccinated. Had to be vaccinated to go. Fine. It's Ann Wintour's show. She wants to force people. I don't care. That's fine. But do you know that they forced all of the waiters and waitresses and camera people and everybody who was working there, they had to wear masks. That's right. The serfs, the peasants, we the peasants, we would have to wear masks in the presence of all of these elites. And it boggles my mind and how so many Americans look up to these celebrities and these people out here, and they could give a damn about you. They could care less about you. They want to take away your right to protect yourself, yet they have bodyguards that carry weapons. We go on and on down the list. It's fascinating. It really is. Human beings and the psyche of human beings. It's interesting. And again, you know, I talk about the axis and the powers that be. I remember having this conversation, writing about this, talking about white-collar crime here. White-collar crime here in the United States, especially when it comes to big corporations, big business out there. If you are connected, you pay a fine and you walk away. Whether you are negligent in building airplanes that fall out of the sky, or putting together shoddy financial products that you know are going to go kaput eventually, profiting on making them, putting them together, then making money when they fall apart. Or, telling all of your clients that this company is awesome, and then you shorten it on the other side. It's all okay. Oh, you got caught? You pay a fine. Go back to work. Right? Remember Eric Holder, the attorney general under Obama? I'm going after any of the big bank executives or anything like that. Not going to do anything like that. No. Again, this is that crowd. This is how they operate. It's how they operate. Anyway, I talked about this years ago. You ever see the movie American Hustle? American Hustle, the story about, I forget the name of the mayor. It was Camden, New Jersey. And it was this whole scam that the feds put together to try to entrap politicians and payoffs. And I think it was $50,000 or something like that in a briefcase that got this mayor of Camden, New Jersey caught. It was the abs. They had a boat involved, all this stuff. It was a great movie based on it. And it was Christian Bale was in it. Amy Adams. It was a great film. Robert De Niro was in it as well. Again, they got smart. They got smart after this, the powers that be. They don't take a suitcase full of cash, but they'll certainly take a $250,000 speaking fee for 20 minutes. Right? Or, hey, I'm done now working at this job. You better give me a job on your corporate boards. Right? Again, you take a look. We're watching all of these Wizard of Smart generals that have been wrong, haven't won a war from now until eternity. It was a great column talking about all of the jobs that they have after they leave the military. Of course, working for defense contractors, consulting, speaking fees, All this stuff, this is how they take care of one another. It's how it works. Man, I enjoy. It's cathartic for me to come out here on the program and discuss this and talk about this because again, you want to punch a wall sometimes. You know, my hope is that you listen to this program, you do your own homework, study this stuff a little bit, and then you're able to have a bull excrement meter that is powerful. Okay, when you see these people talk, you can actually take a look and see right through their nonsense and see what their motivation actually is, what they're all about, and how crooked it all is. Anyway, a quick break. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. Take advantage. All the great stuff we have there at our site, WatchDogOnWallStreet.com, or give us a call, 800-471-5984.
Taking Wall Street's liars, crooks, and cheats out behind the woodshed. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street.
Yes, you are. Welcome back. It is the Watchdog on Wall Street show. Nancy and her gang in the House pushing forward this $3.5 trillion spending and tax package, and it's something they want to get through via reconciliation. Quite frankly, I don't know if they've taken hostage the family members of the parliamentarian, because they've also stuck into this thing, amnesty for illegals, a whole bunch of things in there that have nothing to do with the budget process. I don't know. Again, maybe they've taken hostage the parliamentarian's family members, made that parliamentarian, made her an offer she can't refuse to allow this to go through via reconciliation. I don't know. I don't know, but we continue. Days go by, we see story after story where we see more powers that be in Washington, D.C. wiping, let's call it what it is, wiping their butts with the Constitution of the United States. Yeah. From generals to members of Congress. No, not a care in the world about the rule of law. And again, that's what we're supposed to be about. We're supposed to be a nation of laws, rules, not of men. When it becomes of men, then it becomes authoritarian. And unfortunately, that's the direction we've been heading in for a very long period of time. Didn't start with Biden, didn't start with Obama, okay? It's been going on for a while. Let's be honest. Bush and Cheney, whew-wee, they use that power, that's for darn sure. Patriot Act and perpetual war and all this other crap. Anyway, I saw this poll this past week. Said that 80% of Americans oppose tax hikes coming out of the pandemic. It's interesting. Do those same people still want all of their free stuff? They still want their handouts, and they want to expand Medicare, and they want their child tax credit. They want all of those things, right? They don't want to pay for them. They don't. Hey, listen, I'm not for higher taxes. I'm all for starving the United States government. That's what I'm for. But, man, oh, man, a lot of America, they want a lot of free stuff. They want a lot of handouts and giveaways. They want stimulus checks. They want all this stuff, but they don't want to pay for it. Maybe they just don't want higher taxes on themselves. They want to make other people pay. Did you know some of the things that are in this Biden package? You know, they got a plastic tax, plastic excise tax. It's going to impose a 20 cents per pound fee on the sale of what they're calling virgin plastic. Yeah. Did you understand how much virgin plastic you may purchase over the course of a day? Do you understand what that's going to do to the cost of things that you buy? Yeah. I also want to mention the fact that federal tax collections set a record through August. Again, they're collecting record tax revenues. The money coming into Washington, D.C. is at a record amount, and it's not enough. It's not enough. They want more. They want more because, again, we still we spent, what was it? It was around $3.5 trillion, yet we spent 6.2. So we're still running a deficit of $2.7 trillion. You want to get your arms around that? You want to try to contemplate how much money that is? Yeah, are you getting sick and tired of seeing your tax dollars wasted and helicopters and military equipment now being used by the Taliban? Or FBI agents that you pay for that refuse to investigate pedophiles, repeat pedophiles for some reason? Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm getting a little tired of it as well. Take a quick break. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Chris Markowski is the watchdog on Wall Street. This is the watchdog on Wall Street.
Yeah, like usual, you know who's going to be paying for all of these tax increases? They always say, but AOC's wearing her tax the rich dress, but it's a show. Okay, it's a show. They're never going to go after. It's the wrong way. I don't want anybody to be gone after. Talk about taxation. Tax the rich, wealth tax, truly wealthy out there. No, this is on the backs of people who work. People who were income, not wealth, not paid in stock, not owners of companies. And again, I am vehemently against a wealth tax. Our system is set up to go after income. And in particular, this $3.5 trillion package is going to go after people who work for a living, people who own businesses. It is going to be very expensive for people who own pass-through corporations, people that make the country work. Again, I've explained this here on the program. The need to have animal spirits, the need to have businesses excited. Small businesses is where real jobs growth comes from. It's what has made this economy dynamic. Made us, to be the innovators of the world. It's going after those people. It's actually in the New York Times. New York Times, I'm grabbing this because this is a view from the left. View from the left. House Democrats plan to tax the rich, leaves vast fortunes unscathed. Right, they gave up. They're not doing their wealth tax. They're not going to be able to go after Bezos and all of the guys that they were pointing at. And they never were going to do that. These are the people that keep them in business, the ones that write these politicians the big checks. Again, you wonder why. How is it possible? $170,000 a year, and all of a sudden you're worth $50 million after 15 years. Carried interest. Yeah, Democrats blinked on that. Decided not to even go after the whole carried interest loophole. What am I getting at here? Again, the tax code, 80,000 plus page albatross, that if you have the money, the power, the attorneys, the accountants, you're getting around it. Yeah, how many kids that I know that are recently graduating from college, they're all getting jobs at accounting firms. Accounting firms are hiring. It's an entire business. It's an entire business. It's basically working your way through that 80,000 page tax code. The funny thing is it's simple. I understand we have to pay our bills as a nation. I wish we'd live within our means, which we don't do. But if we were to change our tax structure here in this country to a consumption tax, the old John Linder fair tax, that would make sense. Everybody gets up in arms. Bezos is only paying X amount, and he borrows against his stock because he's only taking an $80,000 a year salary. again, okay, Bezos started a company. He employs hundreds and hundreds of thousands of workers, and I think that that's just great. He pays taxes in other ways. But you go about dealing with this by paying at the point of sale. So if Bezos wants to buy that $1 billion yacht or whatever he's doing, which is great, God bless you, and you're borrowing money against your shares, you're not paying any taxes on that, well, instead you get people when they pay or buy something. It's a consumption tax, a sales tax. This is why everybody pays. Everybody. You know, those people out there, I got cash business all day. When I got to buy something, they're going to have to pay. Again, it would be simple and easy. Make April 15th to be like a little postcard that you'd have to fill out and you'd be done. But again, no, we can't do that. We got to continue to go after the serfs and peasants. What do you mean? $450,000 here is a lot of money. Give me a break. Okay? Break. Okay? It's not a lot of money. When people get to that point in time, many of them have taken decades of hard work. Decades of hard work. Schooling. You're going after doctor. You're going after, we make more money. Would you stop looking at other people's pockets? Okay? Enough with that. The division needs to stop. You know what also needs to stop, too? Again, we are in the month of September. We are in the month of September. You know what the month of September is? The month of September is the worst month of the year for taxpayers. I remind everybody this every single year. Every government agency out there, they work on baseline budgeting, meaning that they spend everything. If there is a government agency out there that has extra money lying around, burning a hole in their pocket, they have to spend it. You take a look at the things that are bought by the federal government in September. One stupid thing after another. I remember years ago, some government agency buying capes. It was some work agency. So they were saying people who are getting jobs, they were going to give a cape because they were a superhero. I'm not making this up. They have to spend it all. They're not looking out for you and I, our hard-earned dollars, our tax dollars that we spend. They got to spend it all rather than save it, rather than operate in an efficient manner. This is a government that we need to starve. Starve. The nerve of these people to ask us for more money. They're already collecting record tax revenues. We're watching them blow billions and billions and billions, not trillions of dollars on wars all over the place. Potholes on roads, infrastructure falling. But where does the money go? Huh? Where does it go? We don't audit anything. We don't audit the Pentagon. God forbid. God forbid. No, we're just told it's on autopilot. It's on autopilot. And certainly we'll have, we're not spending enough on the military. We're not spending enough on this. We're not spending enough on that. Really? Not spending enough on education. Really? Where does it go? Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Again, become part of the Watchdog on Wall Street family. Personal CFO program, our newsletter, account repair kits, all sorts of great stuff. Our podcast, Watchdog on WallStreet.com. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street.